Hello traders, today is September 12th, 2024. I'm gonna go over 12 different names today. Well, let's get into it. This is not financial advice. This content is for educational purposes only. If you are planning to risk any of your capital on any type of investments, I strongly suggest you to do your own due diligence and research before investing your money. That being said, let's start with Apple. And I've been trading Apple or day trading Apple in the past 3 days. I think I'm gonna expand a little bit on how I trade this name, or especially this type of setups. So we had quite a few hammers right here, 1, 2, 3, and this dragonfly candle right here. And basically what I've been doing since trading in the beginning of the trading hours have been so similar was just wait for this sell-off and then get positions during the recovery time frame. But today, for example, what I did was I did buy, I actually traded only 4 contracts. So I did buy 1 call here, thinking that this was gonna start moving up. The reason why was because I thought that since we were closing on this candle on over or on top of this one, the next move was gonna mount the 200 SMA and continue going up. Well, that didn't happen. Then I got another option, call option, right on this area right here. So that was the second one, and then the third one was, I think, in one of these 3 candles right here. Then the fourth one was on this hammer right here. And at that point, I was pretty certain that a reversal was gonna come, and it actually did. So I started selling right on the 35 SMA. That was my first trade. The second trade was here, and then I closed my entire position right on this area right here. Now the stock continued going up, especially in this area, and then it kind of have a little bit of a big candle to sell, and then it continued going up, and then it got a little bit choppy for the rest of the day. It actually closed green, almost flat today, Apple, but I did something similar on Amazon today as well. But anyways, I guess my point to this particular way of trading is when you can actually see it here on these candles. When you, and most of you should know this, we did open here, for example, and close here, open here and close here, open here and close here. Same pretty much on this dragonfly. What happens here is that you have a sell-off, and then the stock recovers and actually closes up here. It goes all the way up to where the wick is, but it actually closes here. Same happened yesterday, and that's what is actually happened today. So there were opportunities, and you can see what happened throughout the whole day right on this candle. So as I mentioned before, I'm very familiar with Apple. I like to trade it. I like to trade, day trade Amazon as well, but Apple is the one that I trade the most. But anyways, for day trading, I do have 1 swing position on Apple for September 27. And I do believe that if we mount 125, we're going to continue going towards 233. Seems like the market is assimilating news a little bit better, and there is a little, I wouldn't say that uncertainty is gone, but it seems like the market is going a little bit more risk on. We definitely have an interesting week coming up next week, but it seems like there is a little bit more of certainty, I guess. But definitely there is a little more of volume and influx of money coming into the market. There is also rotation coming back into names like Apple, Amazon, Google, and so on. Talking about Amazon, again, your resistance level right here on Amazon, 225, and then I think we're going to mount this. We're over the 35 SMA. MACD and TSI are looking neutral, the same with the RSI. So I think that if we move towards 125 tomorrow, then next week we can easily move up to 230. let's move on to where is it? Amazon. So Amazon, I did day trade Amazon today as well. The chart was kind of similar, I believe. I did get a position here. I think I was kind of done or about to be done with Apple. I took a position in this area and I got out around this area right here. But actually, as you can see on the chart, I was doing something else, so I just left. But the stock continued going up. It would have been a pretty nice trade, just like yesterday that I also left. Was it yesterday? I believe it was yesterday that I also left green, but the stock continued going up. But if I'm not in front of the computer, I just don't want to hold any positions. I feel like I don't have any control when I do that. Anyways, this is moving very, very good. We're definitely going to hit 190. We might get some resistance on this area. You have a lot of volume right here and nothing really happened. So don't be surprised that maybe tomorrow we get to this point and we maybe finish the day red or maybe not. But I think that 190 is your next area where you want to keep an eye on. For this name, MACD and TSI are starting to look really good now. There is definitely more momentum to the upside. These candles look really good, but don't be surprised if we get a little bit of red. But anyways, I do believe that 190 is reachable, and then we can assess if we think this is going to mount and continue going up. I would love to see a little bit of red, or I would love to see maybe a neutral candle right here so we can actually continue on this move next week. That's what I have on Amazon. And let's move on to ANF. And it's looking or bouncing the 200 SMA. This is looking pretty decent. Today, it closed almost at 5%. If we add up what we have after market, looks like we are up 5% actually. So this looks pretty good in my opinion. We have 140 as a resistance. The 200 SMA is being respected. So don't be surprised that we get a little bit of resistance on this area, this obvious level at 140, and then the 35 SMA. But there might be some opportunity here. I would give it a little bit of time, to be honest. Maybe wait until tomorrow midday or something to see if it's proper to put an entry or not, or it would be a little bit risky because of the weekend, but this is not looking bad at all. ANF had a pretty interesting run, and it's a stock that actually bounces pretty good from the 200 SMA. We had it. We can see it right here, and we can also see it on this area right here. So is behaving in the same fashion. I think that again 140 is your next resistance level, and if you mount this with volume, I wouldn't be too worried about that 35 SMA. It's just gonna keep going up. MACD and TSI are looking pretty decent. RSI is already pointing out up, so that looks pretty good. Let's move on to another name that was having some difficulties last week and the beginning of the week, I believe, and that would be AVGO. And let me see. Sorry, let me click on this. I have to do a couple of clicks. Okay. Oh, I don't have it on the screen. I thought I did. Anyways, AVGO. Let me make a note. This is looking. It's very impressive. We had a gap here after earnings. It's gone, so let's get rid of it. And it just moved with a lot of momentum, almost 5.25% on, what is that, Monday, Tuesday, and then you had almost 7% yesterday, and today we closed at almost 4%. This is a pretty impressive move. Another name that is respecting the 200 SMA. Also bouncing out of this level right here at 129. Now we are way past that, the support level, past this resistance level at 150. Definitely this is going to break 164. A lot of opportunity here. A little bit of a, I guess, a tricky I guess, a chart to read. But at the same time, if you are also just thinking about the behavior that you're seeing here in this area on the 200 SMA, there is definitely opportunity to take these kind of moves. Now, be cautious on this area 166, which is your resistance level. It didn't break today. I'm not surprised because you still had a lot of momentum on the way up. So that's probably fine. It would be nice if you actually retest and then continue going up. That would be fantastic and would be a little bit healthier for this name. Anyways, that's what I have for AVGO. Definitely more opportunity. The MACD and the RSI is still under the 0 line, and the RSI is right on, is pointing up, crossing the signal line. So it's not bad. There's definitely more opportunity in this sector. This sector is getting funds or money back in. So that is a good sign. That's what I have for AVGO, and I'm gonna do Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin, what we have to do is mount 159.7. If you don't mount that, I don't think it's worth really getting excited at all. I think if you mount 59.7, you're definitely going to go towards the 200 SMA, forget about the 35 SMA at that point. And you're probably going to be in the, around 63 or 62. That would be optimal. MACD and TSI are looking good. But again, we have to wait. Bitcoin has its own way of behaving, in my opinion. So, the weekly doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look great, but it doesn't look too bad. And wait a second. And yeah, I mean, you're kind of flagging on this area right here as well. So yeah, we might see a continuation. We'll see. I'm a fan of Bitcoin because I own some Bitcoin, but at the same time, I try to be as realistic as possible. And without, I guess, mounting 59.7, I wouldn't get my hopes up at all. That's what I have for Bitcoin. MACD, TSI looking good. Bitcoin is looking relatively good, but again, we'll see what happens during the weekend. Let's move on to another name that I haven't covered in a long time, and that would be CROX. And there might be some nice opportunity here. We are seeing a lot of names bouncing out of the 200 SMA. This one looks like it's behaving that way. It was a little bit red today. Let's take a look at the 5-minute and see how was it today. It wasn't too bad, in my opinion. Over the 12, yeah, because we're on the 5-minute. It was pretty much flat. It was flat today. Anyways, there might be some opportunity here. I was giving alerts on or talking about CROX on this area to the downside, and then I mentioned this to the upside, and then I left it alone. But you had this nice reversal here. Now you have this type of rebound. I think this is a brand that is still being liked by kids and some adults, which I think is weird. But if you mount 130, then you're gonna go definitely have room to go to 145, 146. You just have to wait for a little bit more momentum. MACD and TSI are not looking the best, but I do believe that if you have a good bounce out of this level right here, the 200 SMA, then you're going to continue going. I wouldn't be too worried about that 35 SMA in this case. So 145, 146 is where you want to keep an eye on after you break resistance at 130. Now let's move on to what do I have? Let's take a look. I did open a position. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I did. I think it was yesterday. Hard to remember, with Google. So it is behaving very nicely. I've been mentioning Google since, I believe, last week or so. And what I was saying is that I even put a post on X saying that if we go down to 142 or so, it would be a complete gift. It was a gift here already, and it's moving very nicely. I do believe that we're going to continue going towards the 200 SMA or this area right here at 157. And if we break that with momentum, well, 164 is definitely coming. I do have calls on Google, I bought them yesterday. I sold today half of my position because I was already at 50%. So my rule is like, if I get 50%, I'm out. But it was over 50%. So my thought process was, let's just get rid of half of the position and just keep the rest, because I definitely have a lot of conviction on the fact that I do believe that this is going to break 157. I might reassess at this level right here, the 200 SMA or whatnot, but I think this is going to continue. The MACD and the TSI are also looking good. The RSI is looking good. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity. I don't believe that you are late into this position. I would, my calls are for, let me take a quick look. October 11, but I might actually buy, which is not a bad idea, some calls that have a longer expiration date. So if I take a look, maybe I shouldn't do that right now, but anyways, I think maybe December or something, they're 1100, 1200, but you can get like 240s for 545. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking. I might actually get more in the, for, you know, a longer strike or expiration date, I'm sorry, and then we'll see. But so far, the ones that I have for October 11 are actually doing pretty well. Keep an eye on the 157. If we break that, 165 on the horizon. Let's move on to another name that I actually mentioned yesterday. I think I mentioned Google yesterday as well. I did. If I can find this. So HIMS, look at this. I did have call options on HIMS. I sold them all today, but I might actually get back in. The reason why I sold is because I was looking at the 1 minute, and since I was trading this morning a little bit, I actually saw this topping area right here, and I started selling one by one on my contracts. I was doing actually pretty well. I think they were up upwards of 80% or something like that. So I got out in this area, and then, you know, you saw a little bit of cooling down. I think once we were around here, we were up like 7% or so, and I was like, well, you know, I would expect this to go 5% or so. So let's just sell, and if the daily start looking better or the same, I will get back in. So I did make a post on X about this setup right here. So you have this little doji candle here, and what normally you would call this is 3 white soldiers. I think the success rating of this pattern is, I believe, is 81 or 84%. So I think there is going to be a continuation. I don't think we're going to get stuck in between the 35 SMA and the 200 SMA. I do believe that we're probably going to move towards 18. So there is opportunity here. Again, if I see a little bit of red tomorrow, nothing too crazy, I will probably jump back in. I think what I'm going to do today, before actually doing that, I'm going to check on latest news on HIMS and try to make a decision based on that. Besides the fact that the chart, in my opinion, looks actually really good. The momentum is increasing. You can see these little guys right here. That's increasing. MACD and TSI. I really like when I see the MACD behaving like this. Besides the divergence, when you see that, but in this case, when it's flat, you start seeing momentum. Again, the stock lost a little bit of juice during the trading session, but buyers are still in control. I do believe again that 18 is very, very possible in the near future. So I like HIMS, and I might jump in again either tomorrow or Monday. It all depends how volatile things get. Anyways, next I have Hood, and that is another name that is looking very interesting. So it was bouncing on support on this area, 1922, and then you are now past 2120. MACD and TSI is looking really good. It kind of looks like what we have in HIMS. However, HIMS is lower than the zero line, which is even better. So I do believe that we might get a little more momentum. It would be better actually if you get a little red right here bouncing on this support level, just like what you did here, and then you continue going up. That would be very, very optimal. For now, we don't have to worry about the 35 SMA or crossing it because you already did yesterday, and now you're on top of this resistance level at 2120. Next price target is 23.4. But again, would be great actually. And I've been trading hood not that long ago. I think I was somewhere in this area right here trading hood. But definitely would be great if you consolidate here a couple of days, or well, just like this, but in this area, and then you move up again. Anyways, that's what I have for hood. It's not looking bad at all. Definitely opportunity. Seems like the market is giving a little bit of break to bulls, and it's looking actually good. A lot of names had a pretty decent day. Gold was doing, oh look at this, I just noticed gold was looking pretty good. Anyways, let's focus on what I have. Now I have, I'm gonna go back to NQ, and let me take a quick note. Okay, NQ, I think if you don't I think we're not out of the woods yet I do like how we're bouncing. This is another chart that is showing you how these candles or momentum, or however you want to call it, it behaves on the 200 SMA. So you have 1, 2, 3, and you can probably go back in time and, well, 4 right here, and make some comparisons on how this behaves. Beautiful, perfect bounce on the 200 SMA, just like it did on August 5th. We all remember that day. It was last week or last month. Now we have 4 consecutive green days. I wouldn't be surprised if we might get a little bit of a neutral or red candle in this area. The reason is because there is not always a lot of volume on Fridays. That being said, we have to break this resistance level at 19.7, and I think if we break this, we're bullish for the rest of the month. So we'll see. We're gonna probably, well, maybe not, because there's not a lot of volume right here, so we might find a little bit of resistance maybe, but it looks pretty positive. Would be fantastic if we get a little bit of a cool down tomorrow, even though I have calls in some names. But it would be great if we get a little bit of a cool down and then continue going up. I'd rather see that kind of behavior rather than shooting straight up. Now let's move on with NVDA. And I did buy some calls on NVDA. I think I didn't mention that in my videos, but I did get some calls on NVIDIA somewhere around here. So that was last Thursday or last Wednesday. Anyways, they are up considerably, and they expire on September 27th, and they are doing pretty well. Now, NVIDIA had this very nice rebound on support at 101. Now it's moving, or yesterday was over the 35 SMA, and today is over resistance at 117. I wouldn't be surprised, and we're gonna hit 130 next week. That would be fantastic if we actually get to that point. I mean, fantastic for me that I have calls and I'm planning to keep them over the weekend. MACD and TSI is looking pretty good as well. I did post this chart on X as well. I did HIMS, NVIDIA. I think I did some other names, whatever. Anyways, this is looking pretty good. I do believe that if more volume comes into next week, we are gonna see 130. This was a great opportunity to, I guess, to trade NVIDIA. And also you had an opportunity on the way down, because you can see the collapse right here on this resistance level, and it couldn't break it, and it just went down towards 101. But anyways, we are at 117 area, and now we can actually go towards 130. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens next week. But I think next week we are at 130. Now, to finish, last but not least, let's do, where are you? If I could, oh, here you go. Tesla. So I did make a couple of drawings on Tesla. This is what we had before. I just made it look a little bit nicer, but this is what we had before. And I was talking about breaking this area right here, and we will probably go towards the next resistance level around here, 206. I also said, if you continue, you're probably gonna go to 230, and then if you continue, 265. So that actually happened. But what happened was, when I was talking about this name right here, Tesla, we had a little bit of a continuation here, another pattern, small one, and then we actually moved all the way to 165. I'm not sure if I said 165, but for sure I was saying 230. Then we had this sell-off, and then you came back to 186. What I've been telling you in the last 2 weeks is, on my range for Tesla is 186 and 233 or 230. 233. So that's my range in which we're probably going to be stuck for a while. Well, it looks like now we are well over 206, and we're really playing with this area right here. Where are we now? 229. So there is low liquidity here. I think if we break 233, 265 is definitely coming. Tesla, however, is one of those stocks that are hard to trade. But if you look at everything, and if you actually look this trend right here, there is a little bit of a similarity. This is just in a bigger scale. And it seems also like it has more volume than what we had back here. And then back in May, or in July, we really got, a very consistent amount of volume coming in. So we'll see what happens next week. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, this would be invalidated if tomorrow we have a drop of, like, let's say 3, 4, 5%. Today it was pretty much flat, 0.74. And it did have, it behaved like Tesla behaves all the time. But anyways, I do believe you had this run, and then you got choppy for the rest of the day. I used to trade Tesla, and it really gives you bad dreams. Anyways, that's what I have for Tesla. Just keep an eye on that 233. If we break 233, that's that. I think that 245 and then 265. You still have the support level at the 35 SMA, and we'll see how things behave. I still keeping, at least for now, my range between 233 and 168. I think that Tesla, if it doesn't break this level, is gonna probably chop in between these two levels until at least October or something for the next few weeks. Anyways, that's all I have. Thank you very much for your time, and I will see you guys probably over the weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.